Cool. Next question from Gilnorian, who asked, Mythic Raiders seem to be burning out faster than ever due to the grind. Are there any plans to address that?
So, I think some of it is a lot of what we've talked about earlier on about artifact power and how we want to shift it away from feeling like there's this expectation, like there's a finish line that you have to reach in order to be up to the standard that is expected, and anything short of that is deficient, and more of this sliding scale of diminishing returns. All of that said, I think being in and running a Mythic raiding guild is really hard. It's an incredible drain on your time. It's an emotional drain, and guilds have risen and fallen throughout the history of World of Warcraft. Remember back in Sunwell Plateau when Death and Taxes announced that they were, disbanding or ceasing competitive raiding, and
then the
people
next
thought
day,
this
World
guy
of
was
Warcraft died.
Yeah, exactly. And there's oh my god, what's going on? Or on the heels of their success, Nihilum and SK Gaming merged to form Insidia, or whether it's any number of guilds that have walked away from the game, come back. What that tends to reflect is not 20 or 25 or 40 people saying collectively we're done. It's the officers, the leaders that are the lifeblood of the guild that keep the guild going, reaching a point where in their own lives, due to their own circumstances, the time they've played the game, what they feel the game means to them, or changes that we've made that have made it less attractive to them, they feel like they can't go on. Every guild, I think, has gone through countless ones of these decision points where it's in the hands of the officers and the leaders to put in the effort, to put in the extra sweat and tears to save and rebuild the guild, or to go on a recruitment push, or to rally the troops and keep pushing forward, or to walk away, which is really tempting because it's such an emotional drain. And guilds live and die and rise and fall in the hands of their leaders and their officers. And what we commonly see when, those key people want to take a step away, a guild may fall apart, but a large portion of the people in the guild who are still looking to keep playing, keep progressing at a competitive level, go spread out and join other hungry guilds that are still growing and pushing. And that's how we've seen a lot of, the change at the top over the years. And it's a testament to, the long-running success of some guilds like Method that you've seen in those upper echelons going all the way back to, Serpentine Cavern days. And that's particularly impressive.
Yeah, definitely. It is worth reiterating as well, like, you're not trying to say here that no, it's fine or everything, because obviously there is a bit of that element of a grind that we're trying to help address in 7.2, but that's an issue that's felt by many segments of the player base, probably most keenly by the top end Mythic Raiders, but it's definitely
absolutely. I'm definitely thank you. I realized what I probably said sounded in a lot of ways like I was trying to say like, oh no, nothing's changed. It's always been like this. Raid leaders get burned out and quit. That's always been the case. For sure, what artifact power did, and what at times the perceived legendary grind before we changed a lot of the diminishing returns and stuff there and actually flattened it out, what that did was harmful to Mythic Raiders in particular, given their ethos. And we are working actively to improve that in 7.2 and really earnestly hope and believe that it will be different and better. All of that said, and now to put myself back in hot water, I'm going to put a little bit of blame on some of the leaders and the members of these guilds, where there may be a level of what's required to be competitive that isn't sustainable, and it's not the right thing for our game or for our game design to support that actively.
Okay.
On some level, no, the game's not meant to be played 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
And, I remember I was talking about Sunwell Plateau. I remember it was controversial at the time when the Muru Gate came down, to unlock the fifth boss of Sunwell Plateau. And a couple of guilds, I think back then it was Exodus, SK Gaming, they did these marathon raiding sessions, and they raided, 23 hours over the course of 2 or 3 days and got their world firsts or US firsts. And at the time, I remember there was a thread on the EU forums asking should there be attempt limits? Should there be limits on the hours that someone can put in? Because otherwise this is just going to become this arms race of more and more and more time commitment. And obviously, I think we tried attempt limits here and there. We tried them in Wrath, but that led to its whole separate set of frustrations. I think the answer we saw to attempt limits in Icecrown Citadel was, okay, we'll just have 2 or 3 alt raids, and you burn our alt raid attempts to learn the fights before we switch to our mains.
And meanwhile, everybody else is getting stuck behind this attempt limit and having issues.
But it's an arms race, and I think there are plenty of guilds that take a step back from that, and they say, well, no, that's crazy. We're not going to do that. They pride themselves on being 3-night-a-week, 4-night-a-week guilds. We don't add extra days during progression. No, we don't require a stable of geared alts if you want to be a member of our group. We don't do lots of split runs. But then at the same time, those guild leaders and those guilds that are making this choice, they are saying, like, no, it's not reasonable to spend this much time in pursuit of these goals. Also have this expectation of, well, if you want to be a part of our main roster, if you don't want to be benched, if you don't want to be kind of peer pressured and shunned, well, you better be spending the 20 hours that we're not raiding, chain running Maw of Souls every week. And again, the fact that was a thing that could be done is a problem. Yeah. We want to fix it so that that's not this ridiculous path of least resistance to an unfun experience. Yeah. But why is that different? Why is it that a group that will say, no, it's unreasonable of us to ask a 5th night of the week of our raiders' time in pursuit of our progression goals will happily enforce and require 5 times that much time investment on people's personal time outside of scheduled hours? And I think we want to make a game that has goals and ways for people who want to spend a lot of time to work towards, whether you're playing multiple alts or whether, usually you have limited playtime, but you have a week of vacation this week. And you just want to go crazy playing a lot of WoW. And that's what you're looking forward to. So we shy away from lots of hard gates and hard restrictions on things. I mean, we have kind of the core one of you can only kill a raid boss once a week and get loot from it, because otherwise you would just grind the same boss over and over again. Yeah. But if your friend wants to run a dungeon on a Sunday night, we want there to be a reason for you to say, yeah, sure, I'll tank that for you. Sure, I'll come along, and not feel like you're doing it solely out of pure altruism. Right. But yes, that means that, doing it multiple times will continue to give you rewards, and we're asking players to some extent, limit and manage their own time investment. And it's an area that's challenging. I know at the high end of the competitive community, it's an arms race and people push each other, and there's always this sense of, when you have comparable skill levels, well, if we just put in a bit more time, if we just geared up a few more alts, if we just did a bit more, that will push us ahead. But as many of the guilds and players walking away from the scene attest, I don't know that it's sustainable. And that's it's something, it's a discussion that I'd love to continue. I'd love to continue on the forums and with other members of the high-end raiding community. So just rambling thoughts.
No, it's always interesting to hear the thoughts behind things. We are just about out of time.